हाय गाइस। ये लाइव सेशन 6 o'clock शुरू करना था बट मैंने 5 मिनट पहले शुरू कर दिया सो दैट आई कुड ब्रीफ यू अबाउट जनरल डोगरा अ बिट एंड टॉक टू यू एज वेल। जनरल विक्रम डोगरा जो हैं एंड ही इज़ फेमस एज आयरन मैन of Indian Army and मतलब वो general है. It speaks itself about his illustrious career and the things he had done for the country. ABSM भी मिला है, अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, sword of honor भी रहे हैं अकेडमी में. So we are not here to talk about his accomplishment but carry out a casual talk together because both of us belong to one fraternity and so we just quickly decided कि let's just talk very casually because accomplishment वगैरह तो हम सभी जानते हैं but we wanted to keep it really where is Iron Man. हाँ, मैं पहले आपको तो आयरन मैन के बारे में बता दूँ कि आयरन मैन होता क्या है, क्योंकि जनरल पब्लिक में एज अ जनरल आई टोल्ड यू कि उनके बारे में क्या ही बताया जाए. ही इज अ जर्नल स्पीक्स इटसेल्फ अबाउट हिज इलस्ट्रियस करियर. बट एज एन आयरन मैन एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सी एथलीट्स की एक ड्रीम बिल्कुल इवेंट होती है ऑस्ट्रिया में एंड जर्मनी में. जैसे वो स्टूडेंट ऑफ द ईयर में आपने देखी है ना, बाइकिंग कर रहे हैं, साइकिलिंग कर रहे हैं, रेसिंग कर रहे हैं, तो ये ट्रायथलॉन होती है एंड ही इज़ द ओनली सर्विंग जनरल इन द आर्मी जिसने इसको कंप्लीट किया है, 2 बार कंप्लीट किया है एंड बहुत ही ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग होती है ऑफ कोर्स ये. सो एंड इट टॉक्स कि कितने बड़े स्पोर्ट्स एंथुजियास्ट भी हैं एंड ऑल, बट एज आई टोल्ड यू वी आर नॉट हियर टू टॉक अबाउट आर अचीवमेंट्स और अकॉम्प्लिशमेंट. वी आर हियर टू टॉक अबाउट जय हिंद. हाँ, आप में से काफ़ी अगर आप लोग सेशन के बीच में क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहिएगा बिकॉज हम एंड में तो कोशिश करेंगे ही. जो आपके जो भी क्वेश्चन है विल ट्राई कि उसको आंसर आउट हम कर सकें. And we are going to keep it very interesting and funny. सन जय हिंद रखने जा रहे हैं इसको एंड बिल्कुल कैजुअल मेस टॉक, जैसे वो मेस वाली वाइब्स आती है ना, बिकॉज बोथ ऑफ अस बिलोंग्स टू दिस फौजी फ्रेटर्निटी. सो एक काइंड ऑफ कैंडिडनेस है हमारे बीच में, कंफर्ट लेवल है. हाय, जय हिंद. सो आई जस्ट होप एज सुन एज ही जॉइंस वील स्टार्ट विद द सेशन. और इसको हमने बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग से रखा है, मोनोटोनस नहीं रखा है. 5 क्वेश्चन वो मुझसे पूछेंगे, 5 क्वेश्चन मैं उनसे पूछूंगी और ये सारे क्वेश्चन फनी एंड इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाले हैं. सो लेट्स जस्ट सी हाउ इट गोज. वो ही इज़ अ जनरल ऑफिसर, सो थोड़ा सा मैं यू नो कॉन्शियस भी हो रखी हूँ बिकॉज ये जनरल ऑफिसर यूजुअली स्ट्रिक्ट डिसिप्लिनरियन होते हैं. जय हिंद मैम फ्रॉम इंडियन पैरा मिलिट्री फोर्स. जय हिंद तनु. एंड हाय, हेलो, हाय माविरिक, हाय सोनी, हाय डोंटलेस. एक तो ना आप लोगों के नाम ये इंस्टाग्राम पे इतने आप लोग डिफ़िकल्ट रखते हैं कि मुझे टैग वगैरह करने में बहुत मुश्किल हो जाती है. हाय प्रांजल, हाउ आर यू. इंस्पिरेशन कम्स फ्रॉम योर गाइडेंस. थैंक यू रामशा. Ma'am, you are so positive person. Avnish, thank you Avnish, you're very kind. Hello ma'am, looking pretty as always. Books and Beyond, oh you guys have all my heart. Books and Beyond guys, I want to tell you about them. एक फरीदाबाद based this a book club house है, book house है and you must follow Books and Beyond because ना they keep on अभी online sessions इतने अच्छे authors को बुलाते हैं, उनसे बहुत ही डिटेल में बातचीत करते हैं. So it's a very enriching experience and as an aspirant, as defense enthusiast, all you guys must be into reading books. Fiction, non-fiction सब पढ़ना चाहिए. Hello ma'am, how are you? I'm fine Rocky, thank you. Your stories are always inspiring. Piyush, thank you. Piyush, we are so lucky to join your live. I am so lucky, we are so lucky and we are looking forward to interact with you. वरना हम मैंने और जनरल डोगरा ने हमने काफ़ी बातें फ़ोन पे भी कर ली हैं but we were just wanted to talk to you guys, so we are here. Good ma'am, but exams are going on. All the best Pranjal, do well. Ma'am, आप ex CDS हो क्या? नहीं भाई, आप इतने दिन से मुझे फॉलो कर रहे हो और आपको अभी तक क्लैरिटी नहीं हुई है। इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर मैं नहीं देने वाली अभी कुछ भी। हाय श्रुति, गुड इवनिंग। अच्छा, आई एम ए विथ लव, ये एक ऐसा पेज है ना कि आप किसी भी मोरल, कितना भी मोरल सैक्ड हो ना आपका, आप इस पेज पे जाओगे तो यू विल बी लाइक, मतलब बिल्कुल पावर बूस्ट आ जाता है। मुझे आ जाता है तो आई जस्ट कैन इमेजिन कि इसका क्या इफेक्ट होता है। उसका रीजन पता है क्या है? कि इसके जो एडमिन्स है ना, दे आर वेरी वेरी पॉजिटिव पीपल एंड दे आर माई फेवरेट पीपल। हाय श्वेता, आई होप इट्स श्वेता बुक्स एंड बियॉन्ड। मैम ग्लैड टू सी यू। हाय आयुष। अच्छा, जनरल डोगरा हैज कम आई गेस, तो लेट मी एक्सेप्ट हिज रिक्वेस्ट एंड वी कैन गो लाइव। जय हिंद। योर वीडियोज आर रियली इंफॉर्मेटिव, थैंक यू, आई एम फॉलोइंग इट। रेड डेविल, रेड डेविल क्या नाम है, शानदार है। क्रेडिट गोज टू यू, थैंक यू मैम फॉर मोटिवेशन। मैम आई क्लियर्ड CDS, FCAT both, oh my god, congratulations. General Dogra has joined us, it looks like. Welcome.
Hello.
Good evening, General Dogra, and welcome here.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
I am absolutely fine. Tell me about you.
Is my lighting fine?
Absolutely fine, absolutely nice. You're
Okay,
clearly
great.
visible.
Yeah.
Yes. So, shall we start the session?
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. So many people are here, they're pinging, and they're looking forward for this session. So I think we must not waste time because it's hardly going to be like 45 minutes, 1 hour. So I'll start the session with a question which was there in the comment section. ठीक है, एक comment section में एक question आया था जनरल डोगरा। इट्स एन NCC कैडेट आयुष बलहारा, उन्होंने पूछा था ये क्वेश्चन। मैं उससे शुरू करूंगी एंड यू आर द बेस्ट पर्सन टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन। हैट्स ऑफ टू दैट गाय। ठीक है, मतलब उन्होंने पूछा है कि व्हाई डू सोल्जर्स सैक्रिफाइस डिस्पाइट करप्शन, क्राइम एंड इनकेपेबल लीडर्स, he is saying that in India. That's the first question I'm bombarding on you.
So I want to tell your viewer, whoever this gentleman is who asked this question, that it doesn't matter who is making policy for India. The soldier fights for the country. And like you say, my country, right or wrong. Now, once you have taken up this mission of doing things for your country, whether you're an army person, you may be even in the civil services, you may be a doctor, an engineer, whoever, everybody is serving the nation. But once you have decided to start serving your nation, then you give it everything that you have. And in the army, since he asked specifically about the armed forces, why the armed forces goes on is because we believe in three things: Naam, Namak, Nishan. And Naam out here is the name of your unit from which you come. Namak is the salt, like they say in Hindi movies में बोलते हैं ना, मैंने नमक खाया है. So we are talking of the namak, the loyalty that you must establish to your nation, and the flag of your country. And that is what we fight for. It doesn't matter who's corrupt, who's not, giving respect to the army, who's not doing anything. That doesn't matter. What matters here is your country and your loyalty and your commitment to what you have taken up.
So आपने बड़ा अच्छा, आई होप ये आयुष बलहारा NCC कैडेट हैं, दीज आर द फ्यूचर ऑफ दिस कंट्री। तो आई होप कि ये क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली अक्सर पूछा जाता है कि ना, व्हाई डू सोल्जर्स मेक सैक्रिफाइस, व्हाई डू, तो आपने बड़ा अच्छा बताया है ये। तो आई होप कि उनको इसका आंसर मिल गया होगा। नाम, नमक और निशान, एंड नो मैटर, मतलब who is there, soldiers will fight
Of course.
for their citizens and all. So this is how, and
So
you have my questions ready because you have not.
Yeah. So let me ask you first to tell me something more about yourself, or tell the people around you about yourself.
Actually, thank God, because I was expecting कि आप मुझसे बहुत ही भयानक वाले questions पूछने वाले, so I was kind of scared, but I hope
वो भी आएंगे.
अच्छा, वो आएंगे. I was expecting a gentleman asking me questions. मेरे बारे में वही, आई एम एन ऑथर, And I have written 2 books. Third is also going to be published by November 2021. It is on martyrs' families. Fourth book पे काम चल रहा है again. And along with this authoring thing, I have done my college from BITS Meshra, which is one of the finest. I really don't know, because after being an army wife, General Dogra, everything comes down to a point of being married to a fauji, no matter what your identity is. So I can say a lot many things about me, that I'm an author, I'm also a blogger. Like my blog is one of the finest blogs, मतलब बहुत सारे hits होते हैं, काफी लोग पढ़ते हैं, stuff like that. But what I take pride in, my designation or my identity is being married to a fauji. And it's been 12 years in the army, and I'm very proud about being a part of this fraternity. And I try, recently lockdown जब से हुआ है 2020 में, so I have started making some informative videos and all, so that because ये youngsters होते हैं ना, there's nobody to guide them and all, so I try my best कि मैं उनको guide कर सकूँ, सही रास्ता दिखा सकूँ, जो भी मेरे पास experience उनके साथ share कर सकूँ. So these are the few things I'm involved into, and that's it. अब आपके
So now that you talk of being a fauji wife, let me take this one step forward. Why did you marry a fauji? You're from a civil background. How did you get into marrying a fauji? And tell me, what has been your experience after joining the fauj? Not your husband, but the fauj.
You cannot ask me this question, as was the deal, because that would be your second question. I am going to ask you the second question.
No. Let's take it on from here only. You finish your part of this part. Yeah.
I did not plan to get married to a fauji, because I'm coming from a complete civilian background. I am from Bihar, and my father is a judicial officer. And मुझे बिल्कुल भी आइडिया नहीं था कि फौज क्या होती है. It just happened. In fact, मेरी जो फर्स्ट बुक है सोल्जर्स गर्ल, उसमें काफी लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि आपकी स्टोरी है क्या. सो ये मैं कभी रिवील नहीं करती हूँ, लोगों को पढ़ने देती हूँ, उनको गेस करने देती हूँ. सो मैं अभी भी यहाँ पे रिवील नहीं करूंगी, बट इट जस्ट हैपेंड. इट वाज मोर ऑफ एन अरेंज्ड मैरिज to get married to my fauji. And when I joined this fraternity, it was crazy, I tell you. मतलब ये जो norms, जो culture, जो protocols हैं, it takes like a lot of time to adjust into the fraternity. But when I look back, I feel so proud about everything that has happened around me, and Fauj is responsible for making me who I am today. The kind of confidence, the kind of culture, and the kind of values Fauj instill into the people which belong to Fauji fraternity is amazing. So I think I have answered you. Now it's my turn to ask you questions. Okay?
Shoot.
ठीक है, तो अभी आप तैयार हो जाइए जनरल डोगरा. सेकंड क्वेश्चन जो आपके पास आ रहा है वो है शेयर, एंड यू हैव टू बी ऑनेस्ट जनरल डोगरा, है ना?
I don't know why you are sounding like Amitabh Bachchan right now. And I'm being put through a KBC. Second question coming my way. Okay. Please give me 4 choices also.
I'm psyching you up. मैं आपको psych up कर रही हूँ, ठीक है?
Yeah.
तो but वो हो नहीं पाएगा ना, because at the end of the day you're a fauji, आप psych up तो हो नहीं सकते हैं, but I'll try my best. So share some of the harshest, बिल्कुल cruelest punishment you have had in academy.
Oh.
And you have to be
Lots
honest.
of it. Yeah, lots of it. But the harshest day which I had, I must narrate, it was my second term. Now, NDA has got 6 terms, and then IMA has got 2 more terms. I'm talking of NDA. Second term, end of my second term, and there were these 3 third-termers who had asked me to do something for them which I had refused. I don't remember the real incident, but they took it onto themselves that today we have to teach Vikram Dogra a lesson. So they started off with making me do something called a front roll, where you don't use your hands. You just land on the back. That started off mugs and mugs of water till the water was still here, and then I was made to go into a circle and I was puking. And then in that puke which came out, I was made to roll again. And this carried on for about at least 2 hours. Of course, you know, when you are in NDA and you are determined not to let them feel that they are actually affecting you. So I didn't whimper, and they didn't let go. And finally they got tired and fed up that, okay, now you get lost. So that was a crazy day, and I remember it very vividly.
So it affected you anyway, मतलब physically, मतलब how many days you were in pain?
No,
Nothing.
no. Affected physically means it was end of term. We were going to go home after about 2-3 days. So the shoulders and all, which had got swollen, well, we had a month of break at home to get over all that. So there's no effect like that.
So you were lucky that way.
Yeah.
So
But
that's
normally, I don't think in India things happen which leave you with permanent problems. It's very rare, neither in India nor in IMA. So even if you're given some kind of a punishment, this punishment is all in the moment. It doesn't, leave a mark on you in the sense physically.
that the point is punishment's point is to make you tougher, I guess. No, that's the whole point of giving punishments.
Well, sometimes that, and sometimes just subjugation. You want to show that we are senior to you. You have to listen to what we tell you.
But that's also part of being a fauji, na, because listening to the senior is of utmost importance all throughout your career na. So that's
And being arrogant is also part of Forge. So you must also keep defying your seniors in the academy when they give you something which is not supposed to be done. So it works both ways.
yeah, absolutely. You're right about it. It works both ways. So yeah.
Okay. So did you have any problems adjusting in the army? You joined the army, you married a civilian, you said it was an arranged marriage, your father is a judicial officer. Now you got married to this guy who's in the army, who does things differently. The entire environment you said was very, different. So what was the problems you faced? What were the situations you faced? Were there any funny incidents which happened with you? Things which happen in the army, which in the civil street don't happen at all?
You call this environment different, and I'll also call this environment now different. But when I was a newly wedded wife, I'll tell you, I found that environment weird. Imagine coming from an engineering college, coming from complete civilian background, and finding all these chivalrous generals around you, officers around you, and glamorous ladies. The first thing that मुझे अभी जो याद आ रहा है जनरल डोगरा, because मैं बिल्कुल न्यूली वेडेड थी, I was in my 20s and all, and I would see generals' wives, and because we were in Fort William that time, जो कि ईस्टर्न कमांड है, वहाँ पे सभी सीनियर ऑफिसर्स थे काफी, तो they'll be so glamorous, उनकी साड़ियाँ इतनी अच्छी से नीट एंड क्लीन होती थी, एंड मुझे साड़ियाँ बांधनी नहीं आती थी, और एक दिन में कई बार होता था कि 3 बार I have to मतलब dressed up and go to welfares and all sort of stuff. तो मुझे वो समझ नहीं आता था, the way all the officers would talk and all the ladies would talk, there's a grace and there's an aura when Faujis talk. So as a civilian, when you enter this tribe, you are scared, you feel inadequate, you feel inferior. I'm telling you, this has happened to me, and I'm sure this happens to everybody, every newly wedded wife. San army brats maybe, but this happened. Then the second problem I faced was that table manners. बहुत छोटी सी चीज होगी, आप शायद इसके साथ रिलेट भी ना कर पाए, because you have lived your entire life in the forge, but as a newly wedded wife, जब वो डिनर नाइट्स होती थी, वो बैंड बज रहा होता था पीछे, एंड वो कोर्स वाले डिनर्स होते थे, कभी वो आपके पास वो डेजर्ट खाना है, वो खाना है, तो आई यूज्ड टू क्राई बिकॉज मुझे पता नहीं था कि हाउ टू हैंडल फोक्स एंड स्पून, और कब कैसे खाना है, और हाउ टू रेज द ग्लास, स्टफ लाइक दैट. तो वो बहुत ज्यादा ट्रॉमा देता था मुझे. फिर साड़ियाँ वगैरह जो एक कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट होता है फौज में, कोड ऑफ ड्रेसिंग सेंस एंड ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल होता है. इनविटेशन कार्ड्स पे आते हैं ना वो लिख के कि भाई ड्रेस ये रहेगी, यही रहेगी. तो हर इवेंट में उस पर्टिकुलर डे में ड्रेसिंग करना, वो भी एक बहुत मुश्किल था. तो ये एडजस्टमेंट लेवल में तो पहले एज ए सिविलियन यही सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हो जाती हैं. इसके बाद कई सारे फनी इंसिडेंट्स भी होते थे, कई फ्लैप्स भी किए हैं मैंने. So I'll not like to talk about all those things here on a public platform.
Next question, don't worry.
You cannot ask me, otherwise I'll go down to a level asking you really harsh questions, I'm telling you. So that was it. That was my adjustment period. And उस समय जो generals थे वहाँ पे, वो because Fort William का structure वैसा ना, there are 9 major generals of different arms and there's one army commander. तो एक न्यूली वेडेड वाइफ होती है, that she joins a unit, then she goes to a brigade, then मतलब उसके बाद वो ladder में सीधा command में चली गई as a newly wedded wife, and they were very kind to me, all the generals and the lady wife, they were so kind to me, they treat me like a बच्चा, एक तो newly wedded बच्चा जैसे treat करते हैं, but बहुत मुश्किल होता था just to stand with them. And it took me quite a lot of, they will tell कि भाई एक साल लगेगा अभी इसको ना, they can make out कि ये बाहर से आई है and it will take time. So that was
Very interesting.
yeah. अभी now get ready for your question, okay? अच्छा, आपको पता है कि मैं एक रोमांस ऑथर हूँ, आर्मी लव स्टोरीज तो मेरा फोटे है, ठीक है? तो ये सेशन कभी कंप्लीट ही नहीं होगा जनरल डोगरा इफ आई डोंट आस्क यू अबाउट योर लव स्टोरी, डोंट टेल मी यू हैड अ लव अरेंज मैरिज, डोंट टेल मी दैट, ओके? यू आई एम श्योर जैसे थोड़ा सा जो भी मुझे पता है, ठीक है, तो यू टेल मी अबाउट मिसेस डोगरा एंड यू, हाउ डिड यू टू मीट एंड हाउ डिड यू नो इट कम टू मैरिज एंड ऑल?
Mine is a very long story, a very movie kind of a story.
अच्छा.
You know, when I was in the Indian Military Academy as a cadet, 1981, her father was the principal of the Army Cadet College, which is part of the Indian Military Academy. And in the academy, I was a academy cadet adjutant. So that is the senior most appointment amongst the third termers. And I had a telephone in my room for that. Because of that, I had to give reports to the adjutant and other people at night. So one day on a Sunday, it was September, I saw this telephone and I remembered the principal has two daughters. I said, let me make an anonymous call. So I dialed the number, I looked it up in the directory. I still remember 292. So I dialed 292 and I asked for Miss Sharma. I didn't know the name. I didn't know her name also. So the person on the other side, a lady said, which, elder or younger? So I said the elder one. Itna malum tha mere ko. So she said, okay. And she gave the phone to her. And I said, you know, I'm Sunny. That's my pet name. Of course, I couldn't say I'm, you know, so-and-so. I'm Sunny and I want to talk to you. And of course, she refused. She banged the phone down. And this happened about 10 times. Till the 11th time, I said, let me change tactics. I said, this time I will ring up and I'll apologize for, you know, making these calls and maybe I'll make some headway. So I picked up the phone and before the person could say anything, I said, you know, it's very stupid of me to ring up again and again. And the person on the other side said, yes, it's very stupid of you. I said, who's speaking? She said, I'm Supriya's mother speaking. So I came to know her name. So I banged the phone down. And then this carried on. It took me about 3 months to convince her that, you know, we will never meet in life. About 2 months. And we will only talk on the phone. And so she started talking. She was in class 11. And then came the IMA fate. And I told her that day on the phone that today I'll come and ask you for a dance. So she said, how will I know? I said, well, you'll get to know. And sure enough, in the fate, I went and I asked her for a dance and I gave her that hard look. And she knew who I was, but she was acting, you know, hard to get. She said, no, I'm tired. I can't dance. So I said, fine, you can't dance. There were some other girls there. I took them for a dance and that was the story. So that's how it started and it went on and I passed out of the academy. We were in touch on letters. Then after about 2 years of my passing out, 1984, I went and I told her I want to meet your father and now tell him that we want to get married. So I told her dad, he was my English professor in NDA. Before coming to IMA, he was there. So he knew who I was. So I said, so I've written an article, I want to come and show it to you. So I went over, some silly article I showed him, which was so lousy, I know he must have been embarrassed reading it also. But I made sure that I had a glass of beer and then I told him that I want to marry your daughter. And he almost fell off his chair because he was not expecting that. And he says, she's too young. I said, well, I'll wait. And then it just so happened, she said, I don't know about anything about you. I said, I'll get my parents over. So next day my parents came over. We had dinner with them. And we got engaged in 1984 and then we got married in 1986.
How old would you be that time?
I was 20 in IMA and I got married in 1986, 5 years later. So I was about 25 and a half, almost 26. You got married at the right age, I would say. You actually waited for her, that means. Yes, she was in college. So her dad was insistent that she has to finish college. So 84, 85, 86, she finished college and then we got married.
अच्छा, somebody is commenting, बाप रे क्या मस्त story है, now I have got some tactics. And tell us about Mrs. Dogra as well. I have seen her videos, आपके reels बिल्कुल जो proper viral है, and she looks so elegant, so sleek, like a generous wife. मतलब वही जो मैं बताती हूँ, newly wedded wife, बिल्कुल as in awe you see the generous wife. She looks every bit of it. Tell us about her.
So she was a mother, full-time mother for 17 years. Till the kids were adequately old enough to look after themselves in schools. And then she started her career. She worked for a finishing school in Delhi. She was heading the school for about 5 years. Then she went and did some content writing with Educom, where she worked for a long time. She's a fitness enthusiast. She's done all the half marathons, 21 kilometers in Delhi, Mumbai, Shimla. She's done the Himalayan car raid twice as a crew. She's done the Chadar trek in Leh. She's now an artist. She's painting. She's churning out paintings out here. I keep telling her, I said, we won't paint our walls ever. We'll just hang your paintings. We don't need to put paint on the walls. There's so many of them. So that's what she is. So
I think she has her own kind of following, because if you could see the comments, people are writing, she's so beautiful. Mrs. Dogra is really an elegant lady. And now, ma'am, now you have got a new plot for your next story.
yeah, maybe you can use this as a story somewhere.
Yeah, it's a very nice plot, Full ready-made plot. I can really work upon a good story for this particular book.
Yeah. And tell me now, how do you cope with the frequent transfers? Say the army moves you every 2 years, or maybe sometimes even faster than that. And that becomes quite irritating, packing up everything, boxing them, carting them, setting up house in that station. You get different houses within that same station, first a temporary house, then a permanent house. By the time you settle, it's time to move again. How do you cope with that?
It's terrible every time. Let me be honest about it. Packing up and opening it as well. Both of it has its own charm, I would say, in a sarcastic manner, pun intended. So it's difficult because, and not just for me, but I feel everybody, you must also have been hassled about it, the packing thing. Every 2 years, and 2 years में क्या होता है जनरल डोगरा, ये क्या होता है कि every 6 months भी कई बार आपको पैक करना पड़ता है, because husband is going to a war exercise or a course has come up where he will be for like 3 or 4 months, so and you have kids and stuff like that. There's no option to pack your stuff and shift to your parents' house and all. I'll tell you, यहाँ पे एक बात बताती हूँ मैं आपको. I was in Jammu that time, and I went to military hospital. And there was a lady, a very young wife. I met her in the MH, and I asked her. She was doing PhD कर रही थी वो. तो I asked her कि आप PhD कर रहे हो, आप कैसे कर रहे हो ये वो. कह रही है कि मेरे हस्बैंड की, मैं कभी पढ़ने में मेरा दिल नहीं लगता था, पढ़ाई करने में मुझे कभी भी, मेरे माँ बाप ने बोला मैंने शादी इसलिए करी क्योंकि मुझे पढ़ाई नहीं करनी थी, एंड फौजी से कराई तो मैं बहुत खुश हो गई, बट आज की डेट में PhD इसलिए कर रही हूँ क्योंकि मेरा पति कभी घर पे ही नहीं रहता है. He was a para officer. एंड तो क्योंकि उसकी वजह से मैं PhD कर पाई हूँ. तो दैट्स द, आपने जो पैकिंग का इम्पैक्ट पूछा है, यही होता है. तो यही रीजन है कि कई बार जैसे आफ्टर समटाइम्स जो आर्मी वाइफ्स होती हैं वो सेटल डाउन कर जाती हैं एक जगह पे, बिकॉज खुद के करियर की तो जो बैंड बजती है वो बजती है. जो बच्चे होते हैं उनके करियर के साथ भी काफी प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज कई बार छोटे स्टेशन होते हैं, बड़े स्टेशन होते हैं, तो वहां पे कोप करना बच्चों के लिए, उनके लिए थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. सीन मेरा भी वो स्टेज नहीं आया है, बट आई सीन की 10th एंड 12th में जैसे बच्चे जाते हैं तो जो लेडी वाइफ्स हैं, दे प्रेफर कि भाई एक जगह SF में ले लें, एंड हस्बैंड्स मोस्टली फील्ड में है तो वहां पे एजुकेशन कैरी कर पाओ. तो ये बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है. मतलब नहीं, हर 2 साल 1.5 साल लाइफ में सेटलमेंट नहीं रह जाती. लेकिन यहाँ एक पॉजिटिव चीज मैं बताना चाहूंगी कि आर्मी लाइफ की, इससे ये होता है कि हम बहुत स्पिरिटेड रहते हैं ना जनरल डोगरा. वी आर वेरी स्पिरिटेड पीपल. मतलब वी take life as it comes, throw everything, throw whatever you want to throw on us, just throw it up, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बिकॉज एक नयापन भी रहता है लाइफ में. एंड एक्साइटमेंट रहती है, वो भी रहता है कि अच्छा नई जगह जाना है। जैसे अभी इसके पहले मैं आसाम के जंगलों में थी, बिल्कुल वो रूरल आसाम में, चाय का ढाबा भी नहीं था। नाउ आई एम इन हैदराबाद, इट्स अ मेट्रो सिटी। वो अलग बात है कि कोविड ने सारी चीजें बराबर कर दी हैं, बट इसका एक अपना चार्म भी है। एज पीपल वी ग्रो, वी हैव मोर एक्सपोजर ऑफ लाइफ एंड वी आर मोर रेजिलियंट, आई वुड से। हमारे जो बच्चे हैं या जो फौजी फ्रेटर्निटी है, फौजी तो होता ही है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ देम आई फील कि वो रेजिलियंस जो है, वो स्पार्क जो है, वो फौजी फैमिलीज में भी दिखता है। तो आई वुड से कि प्रोज एंड कॉन्स दोनों है इस चीज में।
So I want to add something here that right now you are not at that stage where you have got used to this. You know, there is something called a 21-day rule.
अच्छा,
And in the 21-day rule, ये कहते हैं that if you do any activity consecutively 21 days, it becomes a habit. So in the forge, when you move 21 times, it becomes a habit. So it became a habit with us that we used to feel uncomfortable in a situation, in a station after a year and a half. That abhi time ho gaya move karne ka.
yes, you're right about it. This is now
So you are getting there. You're getting there. You are not yet. And then you are looking forward to moving out to a new place, a new house, a new location, new friends, new environment. So ये इसमें, like you said, the versatility goes up. Children become tougher, making friends in new places. So everything has its pros and cons. So I'm telling you about the pros of what we enjoyed as far as frequent movements are concerned. Initially it was a pain, later it becomes a habit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because ये भी एक हो जाता है ना। अभी मुझे 1 साल हो गए, नाउ आई एम लाइक अच्छा यहाँ पे बोर हो रहे हैं, फिर अच्छा ठीक है अभी पोस्टिंग आएगी। you're absolutely right about it. अच्छा, यहाँ पे किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा, मेरी नजर पड़ी कि हाउ डिड, ये आपका क्वेश्चन नहीं है, ये मैं आपसे ऐसे ही पूछ रही हूँ, आपका क्वेश्चन मेरे पास रेडी है। ही इज आस्किंग दैट हाउ डू यू कोप विद द इंजरीज ड्यूरिंग आयरन मैन। आई डोंट नो, मतलब हमने डिसाइड किया था कि हम आपके आयरन मैन के बारे में बातें नहीं करेंगे, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी इतना कुछ उसके बारे में बातें हो चुकी हैं। बट ही इज आस्किंग अबाउट द इंजरीज इफ यू एवर हैड ड्यूरिंग द event, and how did you
So
cope?
सबसे पहले तो I want to tell him that luckily I never had any injuries during my entire training or during the I've done actually 2 full Ironman and 1 half Ironman event. I had no injuries. मगर इसके साथ I also want to tell him how to go about in a way where you don't get injured. और इसमें the most important aspect is that you should listen to your body. So when you're training, whether you're cycling, you're swimming or you're running, don't use music. Lot of people जब वो cycling करते हैं, running करते हैं, वो music लगाते हैं to distract themselves. So you should never distract yourself. You need to focus on your body. So no music, no distraction. Focus on your body and listen to what is happening. Listen to your feet hitting the ground. Listen to how your muscles are behaving. Is there any pain coming up? Because there is a little difference between soreness and pain. If you're feeling sore, it is okay. It will go away. But if you have pain and you don't take care of it, it will become an injury. Like they say, a stitch in time saves 9. So you have to keep that in mind, focus on yourself and know your body. Your body will give you a signal. It will give you the signal that slow down. Take a rest day. Your muscles are sore, you need a break. You need to hydrate. You need to nourish. And there is a lot of science involved. So if you look at all this and do a little bit of reading, you'll also be able to take part without any injuries in any of the events that this gentleman may be looking at.
Wow. Abhi, aapka next question, the main question is here. Army generals are super disciplinarian, but Forge is a place where chaps come up with the most innovative ways to break that particular code of conduct or discipline, I would say. And so, have you ever faced such incident, such funny incident, which you still remember, and how did you deal with it? Because generals, I know, they are like very disciplined, okay, and they want. भाई फौज में तो आपको पता ही है कि challenges आते रहते हैं. So how did you deal with it? Any funny incident regarding it?
You know, luckily as a general, I never had a incident which can actually be counted as an incident which alarmed me or was funny. But a very alarming incident I must narrate, which came to me as a young captain. That was 1986. I was due to go and get married. And it was about a week before I went getting married, I was officiating as a squadron commander. And one young boy comes up to me and tells me that, sir, मैं छुट्टी गया था. He was from, we have a caste composition in my regiment. We have Jats, Rajputs and Khalsas, 3 squadrons. So he was a Rajput boy from Bhind Morena. And he said, मैं छुट्टी गया था, मेरे को आप शो करो कि मैं छुट्टी नहीं गया. So I said, you क्यों show करना है? And I was a young captain, not dealt with all this before. I was still getting into the administrative part. उससे पहले you are more involved with your equipment, with your men and training and all that. So I said, क्या हुआ? He says, sir, क्या हुआ था कि मैं छुट्टी गया, मैंने अपनी वाइफ को उसके पेरेंट्स के घर से लिया कि मेरे को क्वार्टर मिल गया है, मैं उसको लेके जा रहा था और फिर मैं रास्ते में गंगा किनारे उतरा और मैंने उसको गोली मार दी और उसके बाद मैंने उसको पेड़ से टांग के मार दिया और उसको वहीं पे उसकी बॉडी को बहा दिया. एंड नाउ दे हैव फाइल्ड अ केस अगेंस्ट मी and I want to be shown that I did not go on leave. So no, this was a very, very serious matter and a very out of the ordinary incident which came my way, and I didn't have enough experience. And I, of course, like I said, I was on my way on leave. So I handed that case over to the squadron commander who came back. But it was a very funny situation. I, of course, won't go into the conclusion of how it happened and what happened after that. Of course, law took its course. But ऐसे case आ जाते हैं where you are left with your mouth open and you don't know what to do in a situation like this.
आपके command में जब you would be a commanding officer, a colonel, how was that experience? Just share a bit about it as well.
So, firstly, in my command, I waited 2 years to command my regiment. I was approved in 2001, but my regiment was not vacant. So मैंने क्या कहा? I said I will only command Pune Horse. I will wait. So I took 2 years of study leave. So being approved, I picked up my rank 2 years later than my course mates. So in those 2 years, I had enough time to actually plan what I wanted to do with in my command. My regiment was in Ambala. I took over in 2003, and I found it to be the most satisfying tenure that any person can have in your entire career. I've had a long career, but that was the most satisfying tenure. And for the first time, you find that you can make a difference. You can make a difference in your training, in the quality of life that you give to your men, to the families that are part of your organization. You can see through projects which you may have conceived or thought as a youngster that this should happen. Now is a time when you can actually make it happen. So a lot of satisfaction comes through the power and ability to execute projects that you have been looking at. You can see things happening. So that was what I loved the most about that command and that thing. And also, I felt that was the last time I was actually in direct command with my men. After your, when you finish command of a unit, then you go to a staff, you become a brigadier, you may become a general. You're never in touch with your troops. So this was the last time, and I missed that a lot. So when somebody asked me the other day, what do you miss the most about the army? It is about being with the men with whom I grew up, who taught me everything from the time I joined the regiment to the time I went to command it.
And you commanded Pune Horse, I guess. It's a very
So the Pune Horse is the most decorated regiment of the Indian Army. 2 Paramveer Chakra, Arun Khetrapal and Colonel Tarapur, 4 Victoria Crosses, 38 battle honors. It's a fantastic regiment. So that's why I waited 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone says their regiment is fantastic, but so must I.
No, Pune Horse kind of deserves it. We all know about it. It's already legendary. You know these names already, So
tell me, let's take it on from your army life. You adjusted now. A lot of people hesitate to send their children into the army. You were also from a civil background, and you say yours was an arranged marriage. So your parents organized your getting into the army. What would you say to parents who hesitate in sending their children into the army?
Yes, that's a very valid question because I am actually asked this question many a times because हम फौजी हैं, हम बातें कर रहे हैं, हमें एक आइडिया है फौज का, बट बाहर में बच्चे हैं, वो उनको एक्सपोजर हो गया आज के डेट में ना, अभी सबसे मिलते हैं, देखते हैं सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू, बट पेरेंट्स को आज भी वो माइंडसेट है कि फौज एक रिस्की जगह है। पहली बात तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम आती है उनके दिमाग में कि फौज इज अ वेरी रिस्की प्लेस टू ज्वाइन। एंड एक्चुअली जब फौजी जाएंगे तो वो इस बात को नहीं समझेंगे, बट एक्चुअली बिकॉज आई हैव जॉइंड फौज फ्रॉम सिविलियन बैकग्राउंड, आई कैन से अ फ्यू वर्ड्स अबाउट इट। पहली बात तो जब भी मैंने आपको बताया कि फौज हैज गिवन मी कल्चर, अ हेरिटेज, एन आइडेंटिटी, and also values, I would say. And this, when I'm a family member of a forge, there is no other organization which provides these many things to family of the particular person. आप IS हो सकते हैं, IPS हो सकते हैं, डॉक्टर हो सकते हैं, इंजीनियर हो सकते हैं, बट एक ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप अपने परिवार को वो हेरिटेज प्रोवाइड करें। But once as a Fauji, you have this opportunity to provide a good life to your family, to your children as well. That's one thing. Then, General Dogra, correct me if I'm wrong, but is there any other job which provide the opportunity to the youngster as young as 21-year-old guys or girls, I would say, आज के time पे तो, where they have the opportunity to command thousands of men with full authority? They would go and die for their young leader, or provide the opportunity to conquer the sky with glory, or you know, go out on a cruise, on a ship, on a warship, and conquer the seas as well. Is there any other job? And I'm talking about youngsters, young children as young as 20 or 21-year-old. This is the kind of job, and आपने देखा होगा passing out parades में, when those stars, जब उनको वो tipping करते हैं, I have seen parents crying. That kind of pride, जब वो POP में ना, वो जब भी बच्चे चल के आते हैं, young cadets, they become an officer, they take अंतिम पग. That is something out of the world. I think, and ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत risky होता है, सिर्फ infantry होता है, जैसे आप armored से हैं, and डिफरेंट आर्म्स हैं जहाँ पे आप अपनी पसंद के हिसाब से आर्म्स चूज कर सकते हैं या करियर डिसाइड कर सकते हैं। डॉक्टर AFMC में आप डॉक्टर बन सकते हो, इंजीनियर्स के लिए भी यहाँ पे इतना प्लेस है। So it's just not a life organization, it's just not a job we are talking about a lifestyle here. So मुझसे अगर आप पूछेंगे तो I think everybody should send their words to army. So that's my take on this.
So having said that, these are all the pros you've given, all the good stuff about the army.
Okay.
But I think in all fairness to the parents who may be watching or to the people who want to join, we must also tell them about what are the cons. Every organization, however glamorous, however dedicated, however patriotic it might be, has got pros and cons. So you spoke of the glamour, you spoke of the satisfaction, you spoke of the adventure. Now tell us something about the cons.
I'll leave it to you. You tell us about the cons.
My question, you throwing it back at me? Okay. So let me tell the people that every organization has cons, and the cons of the army start with, firstly, the risk to life. There is a huge risk to life because despite all the glamour, all the comfort, all the satisfaction, somebody has to go and protect the borders. Somebody has to be in Siachen in the minus 30, 40 degrees centigrade. Somebody has to be in the deserts in the plus 52 degrees centigrade. Somebody has to fight counterinsurgency, whether it is in JNK or Northeast or wherever it is in our country. So all that is part of this package. And therefore, there is huge risk to life. But like I keep saying, whenever there are challenges, there are opportunities. And so it's only when you get challenges will you get opportunities. And that is the opportunity that you get in the army to explore, to do things differently, to lead those men which, you were talking of into battle. They will follow you to their death, because they have faith in your ability, they have faith in your leadership, they have faith in your competence. And that you can only build if you are a good leader. And that is what the opportunity that the army gives you, to become a leader, not a politician, a leader who can lead his men by self-example, by leading from the front. So, so the con is risk to life, and opportunity is what you get. The other cons are to do with the human resource management. The army, unlike our other civil services, where everybody rises to a certain rank because there are so many vacancies, in the armed forces, only the better people rise to the top. So there will be thinning of the numbers as you rise in rank. So from lieutenant colonel to colonel, you will find some percentage gone, a substantial percentage. When I say some, substantial percentage. And then from colonel to brigadier, again, a very stringent, cut off, and then to become a general, and so on and so forth. So there you may not rise like you do in the civvy street. But having said that, you may not rise, but you will still get, I know colonels who get more salary than generals. So the salary is not restricted, but your promotion you may not get. So these are a couple of them. I don't think I should talk of more of them. But as you get along, let me tell you, the pros are more than the cons. And if I was given a chance, I would join the army again.
And I'd like to add a bit here. What you said is absolutely correct. And the people who join army, they don't join it for salary. At the end of the day, these souls are passionate, adventurous, and patriotic. Like a 15-year-old or a 17-year-old, 12th I'm talking about. फौज में कौन जाएगा जनरल डोगरा जिसको इंटरेस्ट होगा कि मुझे देश की सेवा करनी है, मुझे यूनिफॉर्म पहननी है. And there would be a guy that I want to join corporate, I want to explore the world or something like that. So mostly just salary ke liye to nobody joins the Fauj. They join it for the adventure it provides, and it will, even if you're a colonel, even if you're a general, even if you're a captain, it has plenty of opportunities to throw upon you and experience this particular kind of life. This is not a job, this is a lifestyle. Na? So you are right about the cons, and I hope कि parents को ये cons वाला भी बिल्कुल clear है. अभी they'll not be वो evaluate कर सकते हैं, weigh upon कर सकते हैं. तो ये बड़ा अच्छा आपने बताया. अभी आपका एक question और है, and वो ये है कि many young boys, आप comments में भी देख रहे होंगे, there are so many young boys who want to join army. आपने cons तो बता दिए डोगरा, but give them better reasons, the real reasons to join army. Why should they join army? Because वो actually क्यों join करना है, and what should they look forward once they join army?
क्यों join करना है is, I think, a very personal choice.
ये बड़ा question SSB में भी पूछा जाता है कि why do you want to join the army? So that
so everybody wants to join the army for a different reason. And they also tell you in the SSB, don't come and say that we want to serve our nation, because that is the Kunji answer, and it doesn't work. So why do you want to join the armed forces is something that you have to decide. Are you looking for adventure? Are you looking for serving the nation in the true sense? But like I said earlier, everybody serves the nation. You can join the civil services, you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you're a corporate person, you're a businessman, you're all serving the nation. So it's not only the armed forces who serve the nation, but you may want the armed forces way of serving the nation. So that is different. Like you said, it's a way of life. You may be fond of that way of life. You may be wanting the adventure, not to do with the kind of adventure sports that the civvy street provides you, but the adventure in the true sense. Like I said, you are in Siachen, you are in the desert, you are in counterinsurgency, and there is every day a new adventure coming. So you have to see what you want. And I will tell you to look at it very dispassionately. Don't get influenced only by advertisements or by, emotion or just passion that, no, I want to be an army guy. No, think through it. Is the life which the army offers you something that you're cut out for? Everybody is not cut out to join the army. The army doesn't need very brilliant people. You don't need Einsteins here, but you need somebody who's very, holistic, something all-rounder. You have to be good in your intelligence, you have to be mature, you have to be physically fit, you have to have endurance, you have to be versatile. So you must fit that bill. And if you are not fitting it, then please look carefully why you want to join. So that's why you should join, is a very personal choice.
Yeah.
Now, what was the second part they wanted to know? One is why and something else.
Why do you want to join? Why SSB me question? I asked you to give them the reasons to join army. Why should they join the army?
So, okay. So this I've said, it's a very personal reason why you want to. If somebody asks me, why did I join the army? I joined the army because I was brought up in an army home. My father was in the army. Three of my sisters who were much elder to me married army officers. And from the time I was about 4, 5, and only thing I saw was the army, and I was told, "Ye fauj mein jayega," and I also said, "Main fauj mein jaunga," and I joined the army. So really, it was nothing else that I knew. I only focused on the army, and I thought it was what I was cut out for. But having said that, I will not advise you to go that way. I would advise you to look at it carefully. The answer you have to give in the SSB, you must give a genuine answer. You may be looking at just a good job. You may be looking at a government job security, a job which gives you dignity, which gives you opportunity, and everything else that you know. So you must give the correct answer. Don't fool them by saying, "I want to serve my nation, I want to die for my country." You won't pass. And we must end our session as well because it's closing to 1 hour, and we should start taking questions as well, I think. Yeah, let's do that. यहाँ पे आपसे एक किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, how was the sir's last day when he was hanging the pool? My last day was very nostalgic. So if you go on to my Instagram, there are 2 reels I put out there. 3 of them, in fact. One is of the last salute which I got from my regiment. So my regiment was not in Delhi. My regiment was in Meerut. And I didn't know they had sent a guard of honor without informing me. I was in a office in Delhi in R.K. Puram. So I had a farewell out there, like all offices have, all that garlands and the speeches and everything and the mementos and stuff. And I came out. And when I came out, I was told, there is a surprise and there's a guard of honor for you from your regiment. So the guard was lined up. So that reel is there on my Instagram. And they gave me a last salute. And that was very, very nostalgic. Thereafter, that night, my wife gave a party at my house. We had about 80, 90 people, which we had called over. All personal guests. There were none of the official people were there. And for the last time, I came down in my uniform. And we had that cake cutting, which is another reel that I put up out there. And then she recited a poem, which is also there. And then I formally took off my uniform and handed it to, there was a guy who would come from a regiment, a lanceman. So I handed him my cap, my belt, my thing, and I wore my jacket, and I was a civilian. So the whole experience was very nostalgic. And it was like as nostalgic as it was when I passed out, the day that I passed out from the IMA. And it was the similar kind of feelings which I had when I retired. Wow. Yes, we actually have seen those reels and those are amazing. बहुत सारे लोगों ने भी उसको मैंने देखा कि काफी लोगों ने मतलब लाखों लोगों ने देखा है. But they're very special. There's no such reels like those on the social media space. And there is one more. How many adventure does commandos get? I don't know कि ये क्या पूछ रहे हैं. Somebody joining army is my childhood dream. ये इतनी तेजी से वो ऊपर जा रहे हैं ना कि I cannot see them. Questions. How one without army background can see? There's some Yash more sir please in. I don't know. क्या कह रहे हैं ये? Yash more is a general from the army who's. अच्छा तो should we उनको ऐड कर ले हम यहाँ पे? वो कह रहे हैं शायद he's requesting. So let me allow. उनको भी ऐड कर लेते हैं. हाँ जी. Can we connect Major General Yash more? अच्छा मैं अभी देख रही हूँ. तो we have मतलब मैंने उनको request तो भेज दिया. I just hope. Good evening, General. If he's still there, he'll join. Good evening, General Yash.
Hello, can you?
So good to have you.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to share platform with General Dogra.
Ajay, you two know each other. I can't see him. Has he joined? And he has joined, and he's saying that he's privileged to share the platform with you. Yeah, Yash, but I can't see you. Where are you? अच्छा, both of you
I,
are acquainted already.
yeah, we are on social media, and I think we met a couple of times somewhere in the army.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Two generals at one platform. It should be some kind of record, I guess.
It was just impromptu. I came back from a walk and I saw
But why
Jan
can't I
Dogra
see
and
you
you, and
probably,
I'd seen
you can
your
see the
poster
person
earlier
you joined?
also. So I thought, let me just go in and check up if I can contribute something, with all these young people who are following us on the platform.
I don't know, I don't know.
I can't hear him either.
हाँ, some kind of technical problem, I guess. हमारा session भी ना end जल्दी से, I guess. अभी आपके पास questions हैं, please keep on asking.
There are no questions that I can see out here, but I want to ask you that did you ever have this awkward situation in the army? You know, they use a lot of lingo in the army, which is very different. There would be times when your husband would have said, "Oh, DR aayega." Now, a civilian doesn't know what a DR is. It's a dispatch rider, a guy who comes on a motorcycle. But for a newly married wife, it would be alien stuff. DR aayega. Yeah, if you go to the, Batman, you only relate Batman to that guy who's in the movies. But the Sahayak was earlier called a Batman in the Forge. So, did you have such funny instances or something where you felt totally out of your depth?
So many incidents, but if I start talking about those incidents, it'll take like another session. Maybe in another session we can do that. अभी यहाँ पे people are actually asking so many questions. I'll give you the answers. जैसे एक funny सा incident मैं बताती हूँ. जब when I was a newly wedded wife, वो मैं बताती हूँ. Terminologies तो आपने बताई दी. भाई AQ है, G1 है, DR है. You think about कि ये DR क्या होता है? You actually think. फिर आपने वो बताया था आग है, दाग है. So there are so many things. So शुरू में कुछ भी नहीं. And this Roger sir and yes sir ये सब होता है. तो वो तो एक एपिसोड है. मुझे याद है कि जब मैं, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया कि unlike most of the wives, I joined command straight away. वहाँ पे बिल्कुल finest of the lot होता है. बिल्कुल and it was very very difficult for me coming from a civilian background. तो वहाँ पे I went to a party and there was this lady wife and general officer there. They were from engineers if I remember correctly. So after the party, that was for our, मुझे लगता है वो हमारी dining in थी शायद. तो and because आप बहुत पैम्पर भी करते हैं ना, न्यूली वेडेड है, कैप्टन है और मतलब एडीसी कर रहा है, ये कर रहा है, तो they'll pamper you a lot, all the generals. तो वो आफ्टर दैट मतलब पार्टी खत्म हुई थी 12 बजे एंड जस्ट अ कर्टसी में, जैसे अभी तो मुझे पता है जैसे ना बात करते हैं, शी केम टू मी एंड बोथ ऑफ देम एंड दे सेड कि अच्छा यू आर फ्रॉम बीआईटी वेस्ट्रा, वेरी नाइस कॉलेज, माय डॉटर इज आल्सो देयर. जस्ट बिकॉज मेरे हस्बैंड ने मुझे ये बताया था, नाउ यू हैव टू बी सोशल, यू हैव टू बी फ्रेंडली. तो वो 12 बजे की पार्टी जस्ट टू बिकम मोर सोशल, एंड हम सिविल में कैसे करते हैं ना, अब तो मैं भूल भी गई हूँ, आई कैन नॉट टॉक इन दैट मैनर, बट आई रिमेम्बर कि उस टाइम पे अरे यार हमने तो ये हमारा कॉलेज तो पूछो मत भाई, इतना शानदार है ना कि बता ही नहीं सकते, वो वाली टोन में मैंने उनको बिल्कुल आधे घंटे बीआईटी मेश्रा की हिस्ट्री और लेगेसी बताई थी. एंड आई वाज लाइक और वो बिकॉज इतने कर्टियस होते हैं कि वो आपको छोड़ के नहीं जाएंगे, वो आपको बीच में रोकेंगे नहीं. एंड वो मतलब बिकॉज सबसे सीनियर मोस्ट थे, इसलिए वो पूरी पार्टी 12 बजे की खत्म हुई. मेरी वजह से 12:30 12:30 निकलना शुरू हुआ. फिर जो हमारे जो जनरल थे वहां पे, जो जनरल ऑफिसर थे, वो सबको ऑब्वियसली यू कॉल एवरीबडी मैम ना, गुड इवनिंग मैम, गुड आफ्टरनून मैम. बट बिकॉज मैं आई वुड बी इन माई 20s एंड सभी बहुत बड़े थे, मुझसे 50s में होंगे सारे, तो मुझे बहुत ऑकवर्ड होता था शुरू में ये मिसेज वाला कॉन्सेप्ट. तो व्हेनेवर ही विल कम टू मी ना, एक बार ही आए थे, उसके बाद से वो कभी आए नहीं. ही केम टू मी, गुड इवनिंग मैम. तो मैंने उनका कि आप मुझे मैम क्यों कहते हैं, मैं तो बिल्कुल आपकी बेटी जैसी हूँ. हर पार्टी में ही विल कम टू मी एंड वो सबको गुड इवनिंग कहते थे, फिर मेरे पास आके थोड़ा सा ऐसे ऐसे हो जाते. तो दीज सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स आई हैव डन एंड मेजर ब्लंडर्स. फिर एक पार्टी में आई रिमेम्बर जनरल डोगरा की, हम लोग ऐसे बैठे थे, देयर वाज लाइक 9, उसमें आर्मी कमांडर भी आ रखे थे, 9 वो पूरे मेजर जनरल्स थे. तो तभी बारी बारी से ना ऑल द जनरल्स वुड कम टू मी एंड सिट विथ मी एंड ऑल द लेडी वाइफ्स वुड कम टू मी बिकॉज दे कुड फील कि ये थोड़ी सी आउट ऑफ प्लेस फील कर रही है एंड शी इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल. मेरी शादी को 5 या 6 दिन हुआ होंगे. तो वो सेशन भी बहुत मतलब मैं बातें करती रहेगी, वो भी मुझे नहीं रोक रहे हैं. और मैंने जब पीछे मुड़ के देखा तो मैंने देखा कि सभी डिनर के लिए जा चुके हैं, बिकॉज ऑफ मी वो सब वहां पे खड़े. ये सेशन अभी खत्म होने वाला है. इट वॉज रियली
amazing session to have you here and talk our hearts out. And I look forward कि फिर से हम करें. Thank you, General Dogra. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Swapnil. It was